Hi, welcome to Every Little Step, a show focused on the art and science of media consumption and pop culture. This show illuminates the ways in which our media consumption and understanding it better informs popular culture at wide. The show will be expanding to other mediums other than music very, very soon. But today I'm going to be talking not only this week's releases, but we're going to go back and talk about the aftermath of Cardi B's Am I the Drama, which we can get straight into. We'll start off talking about the sales. This album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with 200,000 units sold in its first week. This is the second album of hers to debut at number 1. And this is something to feel good about. It's in a time where female rap isn't really selling well. Rap really isn't selling that well anymore. You do have the 7-year hiatus. However, and maybe this is why the label didn't give us like a super high budget Cardi B video, which I think is actually something that this project is severely missing. But I do think this album is incredibly important to the trajectory of female rap, right? If the big new flashy rapper of the 2010 who went head to head with Nicki Minaj and acquired, I think, 5 number 1 hits, if she can't sell album units, who can? And unfortunately, this is the death of that. Nah, I think it's showing to labels that maybe the audience for female rap isn't there, barring hit singles and online and cultural currency. And I mean, we're going to talk about her later, but even look at Doja's numbers, yeah? And of course, there are nuances to why this is happening, but it's really peak right now, and I only blame the audience. I blame the audience, like, as part of this too. Because what adds to the staying power of Nicki Minaj as again, the end of female rap, is her fan base, is her consumer base. And they illustrated this yesterday in the midst of the beef, sending Win Again off Pink Print to number 1. The bottom line is no one else has got it like that. And I do think some try and come close. Why my overall beef on this opinion is I low-key don't care. Female rappers in trouble. You either need to commit to the bit, get to the booth, or at the same time, people didn't really care about Lotto and Ice Spice. Or we need to add a Berlin Wall to female rap. You on this side, you on the other side. And you don't cross the wall. You pick a side and you stay there. And to be honest, I have a real state of like apathy towards Nicki Minaj. This is what she is. But in terms of everyone else, in the context of the rest of female rap, those budgets are only going to be getting smaller and smaller. And it's sad, which is why what the audience needs to do... I just took it. Don't just go stream the song once. Buy it on iTunes, £1. That equates to 1,500 streams. A stream is only 0.003 pence. And why your favorite artist can't release an album. On that, yeah, everyone needs to go buy Sexy Soulaan by Monaleo. I'm getting paid in full, rock him. Yeah, let's invest stock in her. And her wedding was great too. That was nice to see. With this, let's get into some of the new releases of the week. I did feel with a lot of these songs, yeah, that you just needed to be in the club to hear them. And it's also where I don't really believe in this like resurgence of recession pop. No, we're just hearing a lot of club music in a time, which I guess is being influenced by recession pop. But we're just hearing a lot of club music in a time where your ability to club and party and have fun is an economic indicator, which I guess does that make it a recession indicator? Yes, but the point is, 2009, they were actually getting down in the club. I don't think we're doing that. I did really like Puss. I don't think I hated any of the songs. It's just, like if I'm not having fun with this album, I don't really know what else to do with it. So unfortunately, just belongs in a different kind of category that maybe I need to like unlock or whatever. But fun people will have fun with it all year long. Now, V by Doja Cat, I really, really, really like. I feel like a bit of like a course correct, or maybe even like a narrative arc for Doja. I feel like on Scarlet, it was this real feeling of like, I need to really do this cool thing and be different in order to stand out and be myself. And I mean, sonically, Scarlet, particularly the first part of it, Scarlet isn't this huge deviation away from pop Doja. And I think a lot of the songs here remind me of that warmth of Scarlet that I don't think a lot of people understood, as a lot of people didn't really digest the record. But on this album, it's like she's able to take all these versions of herself and combine them, present it in a complete form, in a way that does feel more palatable, which is why it seems like she's just diverting back to pop. But it is also in her realizing that, yeah, like, this is what I want to do. This is the kind of music that I want to be making. And sometimes that doesn't require you to find a new trick every time. This was a perfect release week single. This song, Amen, kind of reminds me not only of the 80s, but early pop Rihanna, where you have her sampling very similar sounding music. Something about the vocal and the backgrounds that does remind me of Rihanna, which is why even though I think people think Doja diverting back to pop is perhaps a sellout move, I think what she's illustrating in terms of her influences of what pop is. And that's not just in a lot of songs, again, reminding me of old school Rihanna and Beyonce. Something like Lipstick reminds me very much of the retro vibe of Beyonce's self-titled, mainly achieved by electronic musical stylings. But you hear a lot of Janet, Madonna, Grace Jones, but also very Whitney and Prince, showing to me at least that Doja's return or overt pop endeavor after deviating and it having, I guess, mixed results, that it is earnest and it is authentic and it is true to who she is and what she wants to be. And that's what I found beautiful about the way she explained the album cover, but also the tone of this album. And you can tell that she's happy and she's in love. Something that I don't think we haven't heard Doja express, again, even on Scarlet. I love this song. I love it when my life's like this. I love it when my life's like this. But yeah, I love it. 4 stars. Now let's get the show on the road and listen to this week's latest release. Mariah Carey's Here for It All. I love me some Mariah Carey. If you're a real fan, you'll know how good her last album, Caution, released in 2018 was. It's fresh, it's current, but it's experimental, honest and concise. And she has Gunna on here. Have I liked what I've heard so far in Type Dangerous and Sugar Sweet? I can understand why they put them out, but no. And is that an indication on the quality of the music? Maybe not. I think everyone does expect Mariah to have like this last big, and maybe me too as a fan, to have like this last big huge pop era where she gets her 20th #1 and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And as she has been such a enduring force through her pop career, I think what people expect from her is a little bit different. But I just love Mariah's artistry. So I'm excited to hear what albums this is gonna remind me of. A lot of people have said things like Caution with Charm Bracelet, which makes me oh, that is exactly what I want to hear. I'm a bad bitch, but I'm good company. It's very Mary J. Blige. I don't know if that's complimentary or not. And the music, hold up. And the music doesn't have that like tinny quality that a lot of her like recent vocals have had. So good job. Okay, interesting way to start an album with that. I don't know. Yeah. And I love that Mariah in a recent GQ interview talked about this album being a bit like, or this song being a bit like a Donny Hathaway song. Like, yeah. And I love the way her voice is sounding just throughout the entire thing already. Okay, Silk Sonic, this is what we're gonna do, yeah. Mariah Carey is gonna join Silk Sonic, okay? Gonna do an album with her. It's gonna be very much like Play This Song, but then there's gonna be notes of soft rock, yacht rock. Hell, there could be a love triangle going on in this album, yeah. And then for the big budget music video that Bruno's gonna pay for, we're gonna draw inspiration from Some Like It Hot. Yeah, Mariah Carey gets to live out her Marilyn Monroe fantasy, and then we get some great humor between Anderson and Bruno. Thank you. Okay, I feel like maybe where I'm getting from this album is almost as if it's like a really photo finish for Mariah's new voice. Like, I feel like we're seeing the textures that she can operate in most comfortably. I don't know about this song, and what I always expect to do is I always expect to like the album tracks more than I like the singles. Skip on that. I like this. um, yeah, it's cool people that she picked to do a song with. Um, I wish she could have got Kalani on another song that doesn't sound like this, but yeah, very emancipation. Very, very emancipation to me. In the sense where very soulful. I would say the big difference is obviously just vocally what she could achieve. Like she was just in the booth on that song. You used to be mine, way back when. People who want like adult contemporary ballad Mariah should be very happy. But I love that this is what she's putting out, and unlike the rest of pop music, it's not just slipping into like CCM territory. So good job. And I know there's more gospel to hear. Mariah Carey should do a song with Mariah the Scientist. I think it's time. Like they should mentor or have a close relationship. I think it's time. Very brandy in a way, but it needs more like a 4th of July. I don't want to compare Mariah to who she used to be. Do you get what I mean? Maybe that's a car song. You know, a song that you need to like have in a car on a nice drive. I like this. There's a crazy restraint in the production that I like. And I hope it just goes like, I want to lie. A bit future sex love sounds too. I like that. That's my favorite song on the album, and I think I predicted that it would be. Clit. I like that. I like it. I like that a lot. Fuck sisters, let's tuck in. Yeah. And it's got that like retro, like Twinkie Clark thing going on. Yeah, when I learned the bits. Jesus, I do. Yes. Yeah. Jesus, I do. Yeah. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. I would have liked a bit more Dorinda, but we're here. We're here. We're here. Favorite song on the album. Favorite song on the album. And then title track, Here for It All. Yeah, that melody. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay, that was Here for It All by Mariah Carey, and I really like that. It reminds me of a lot of Places of Emancipation of Mimi, the soulfulness of Emotions, and even her Merry Christmas album. And it's interesting because I feel like Caution was such a precise way of saying, yeah, like I can actually keep up with everyone. Here, she doesn't necessarily keep up, and I'd actually say The more soulful tracks are a lot better than the contemporary tracks like Me. But I understand their place on this album. I think ultimately it's a triumph at this age that Mariah can outsell Doja Cat and have an album debut at number 4 at this place in her career and still make music that you can tell, if you're a big Mariah Carey fan, that this is the music that she's always kind of wanted to be making. The more soulful music, and I don't mean just ballads, but tracks that do call back to 70s and 80s soul and funk, like a lot of the work she did with Anderson .Paak on this album. I thought I was going to sit with this a little bit more, but when it got to I Won't Allow It, I was like, yes. And I think it's a great addition to her discography. What did you think of Mariah Carey's Here for It All? And what did you think of the rest of the weekly releases? If you think there's anything missed or something you heard new this week, let me know in the comments down below. This has been Every Little Step, brought to you by The Void Incorporated.